People always ask how I balance my family life with 400 shows a year. I'm just doing what I love with the people I love. It's my magic life.
I like Wes Iseli. I like everything about him.
All right, this week it's just Natalie and I. It's been a long time since you and I. Has it been 5 weeks? This is the 5th week. It felt like a long time.
It did.
We haven't talked to you guys alone since Christmas time.
Yeah, right after Christmas.
So what's been going on, honey?
The day after Christmas.
Yeah, it was like the day after Christmas we talked to you guys last.
It's a slow time of year, and January lasts about a year and a half, so I don't know.
She says everybody spends their money at Christmas, and then shows just kind of dwindle down this time of year.
Seems like it.
But we're doing good in the office. We're booking our summer gigs, and everybody's booking and getting deposits and things. And we're doing shows, but it's very slow.
Slower.
If it was like this all year, I'd be worried. But
Wow.
we're maintaining booking, though. Everything's right on track for what our goals are. We try to make goals as how much did we make last year? Can we make that same amount this year? More is my goal. We're on track. We're making the same. Everything's even. Everything's good.
We're good.
Everything's good. So we're not doing that many shows, but we're booking stuff and stuff's coming. What else is going on? The cold. I'm just sick. I'm tired of being cold.
I know. I can't believe you're agreeing with me. Normally, you're totally fine with it being wintertime.
I don't know if you guys can hear, but the heater's on in the back room back here. My toes are freezing right now. I was thinking I'm going to take a long bath where you cook dinner after this podcast because I just want to warm up. I've been freezing all day long.
Then you get out of that water and you're cold again.
Yeah, but then I'll eat dinner and go to bed underneath all the covers. It'll be good.
Well, anyway,
that's what I get to look forward to.
I'm usually the one who's saying it's horrible, it's winter, and I hate winter. I hate winter. I don't like it. It's dark all the time, and it seems like it's always cloudy, and everything's just so bleak looking because there's no flowers, there's no leaves, there's this. That's how I feel in wintertime. I don't like it very much. I would rather it be warm. I would rather sweat than be cold any day of the week.
You helped me chop wood the other day. How'd that go?
My arms got sore.
That's because it's man's work.
But I did good. A woman can do it just fine.
What did you think about it, though? Did you like the little tools and you don't never get to play with that stuff? Did you like it?
Great.
The little splitter?
No, I'll leave it to you. It's fine.
You didn't have fun doing it?
I think it's neat, but it's not something I want to do.
She always wants fires, but she doesn't want to help chop wood.
I think you enjoy getting out there, and
it does. It gives me, it's one of those things where it's a job well done. You see a job accomplished. You have an empty stack of wood out there. You split it and stack it. I just did that. Sometimes when I work on the trails and things, I take a lap the next day and there's little sproutlets of grass. And it's like, I just was out here. Or you rake the trails and then the wind blows and the leaves all over. I just raked out here. But chopping that wood, that's instant gratification. I feel good already.
Dude, get back out there. Do some more.
I'm cold today.
You got that bundle up thingy with pants and top and everything.
I do. And then I'm sweating. And then I'm cold because I'm sweating. And
There's no making you happy.
No, I do it, though. I do it. I was on a magic group earlier today, just talking to a whole bunch of friends. And they told a story about, I think it's a Magic Castle guy who he had a cat. And the cat hated everyone but him.
Okay.
You've never heard this story. And he was getting older and he said, when I die, I want that cat buried with me.
What if the cat's not dead?
The cat wasn't dead. He passed away and the cat wasn't dead. And another magician had the honor of making sure all of his death wishes came through to fruition. So he said, I can't kill this cat. What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to kill the cat? Am I supposed to kill this cat? It's an old senior cat, but nobody likes it. What do I do? So a friend said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So he comes over with a gun and shoots the cat.
No.
So the magician that's taking care of the dead magician stuff, he's just outside in the driveway. And the guy's in there and you hear ruffling, stuff rustling in the house and everything. And then boom, here's a gunshot. He said, I took care of it. The cat's in a bag in the freezer. Done. Call the funeral parlor. They'll pick up the cat. They'll bury it with him. Okay. A week after the funeral, the guy that's supposed to take care of the dead guy's wishes gets a phone call from the neighbor. You guys need to do something about this cat. The guy's been dead for over a week. He's over my house begging for food every day.
What? I thought
they shot the wrong cat.
No.
So then they got on a whole tangent of maybe that's a urban legend because stuff like that doesn't happen. And we all have stories like that. And other magicians are sharing stories. And I'm like, no, that does happen. And Natalie thinks I've told this on the podcast before, but because I told her I was going to tell the story. So if I did, it was like in season 1, like episode 3 or something. It was way early on.
I don't know.
But I was like 12 years old. And for some reason, mom and dad were off during the work week. And they came to pick me up from school early. I have no idea why. It only happened a handful of times my entire childhood. So this was a rare thing. And when mom and dad picked me up, they were very somber, especially mom. Like, just very somber. And when I got out of the car, they were like, get your stuff and go right to your room. I didn't do anything. I was like, I'm in trouble. And I can see over my back deck into the backyard. Mom and dad are carrying a bag down, and dad's got a shovel. And the phone rings, and I go get the telephone with the long cord, and I'm at the back window, and the cat jumps in my arms. I'm rubbing the cat, loving on the cat. And my brother's like, hey, where's mom and dad at? I said, I don't know. They're in the backyard doing something. They yelled at me to go to the room. I thought they were burying our cat, but the cat's here. I don't know what they're doing. Well, tell them I'm on the phone. And then I put the phone down, and I'm holding the cat, and I walk on the back deck, and I yell down there. I said, hey, my brother's name is Jay. Hey, Jay's on the phone. He wants to talk to you guys. And I'm rubbing the cat. And my dad's like, this is bull crap. And he throws the shovel down, and they walk up. They buried somebody else's cat. But the funny thing is, here in the backstory, on the way to pick me up from school, my dad ran over a cat. And my mom said, oh, no. This was about a mile from my house, Flo's bookkeeping.
Uh-huh.
And said, you ran over a cat. Oh, no, it's our cat. Our cat had roamed from the house. And dad said, that's not our cat. It's too far away. It's not our cat. She said, Johnny, if that was you on the side of the road, I would recognize your face. I would recognize you. Trust me, it's our cat.
Oh,
so my dad has to get out of the car. Put it in the back. It's not our cat. It's our cat. I would recognize you. And my mom's bawling and boo-hooing. And then, when I tell dad and I'm rubbing the cat, he just throws that shovel down. He's all pissed. Mom went out there and she finished burying somebody else's cat. But that was the story in our neighborhood, If anybody's animal died and they don't want to bury it, just tell my mom. Tell Laurel. Laurel will do it. But that's funny. But that cat story, the magician's final wish was he buried his loving cat.
The wrong cat. And the poor people whose cat it was are wondering where the heck their cat is.
So what happened when the guy died? Just random cats started entering the house? Figure that out.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And then
did he take the cat outside and the cat got away from him and then he thought he had the right cat when he got it? It
sounded like the gunshot went off in the house, according to the story. But here's the other thing.
So he was on the driveway.
He was in the driveway waiting while the guy was in the house with the gun looking for the cat. Because the cat wouldn't get near anyone.
Shoot a gun in the house.
It might have been a 22. It might have been a pellet gun. I don't know. It was just a gun.
I don't know. That's weird.
Anyway, so they were saying, that can't be true. That can't be true. But
that's his story, right?
I think, yeah. And I think it's very plausible. Very plausible because I saw my mom and dad bury the wrong cat.
That's sad.
Anyway, what else do we got going on? I thought that was a fun story. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It is. I think it's funny too.
What else we got going on? Well, yesterday I taught magic lessons. How about that? Yesterday, for a couple weeks, this lady called and said, do you ever do magic lessons? I'm like, yeah, all the time. Would you ever teach like just a private, like one-off lesson? Here's my thing. She's like from Connecticut, and they're going to do a birthday party for this girl in New York City. And they said to hire a magician in New York City was just so expensive. And they got to thinking, and who would they hire and what would they do? And they said, They just decided that the birthday girl is going to perform magic at her own show. The problem is she knows no magic. So I got to thinking, she's turning 30 years old. I gave her some mentalism routines that she can do. And she came over yesterday and she was so excited. I like put a show on for them. Her and her boyfriend showed up. Her boyfriend's going to be her lovely assistant. And yeah, it's going to be great. They're going to have a video for me.
Oh, nice.
They're gonna tape it. So I'm excited. I hope they do good. She's a school teacher, so she understood everything. She understood like the putting everything in order and putting the act together. Just from, I guess school teachers have to like put their daily planner together and try to plan out their routines.
Right.
So that's why I think that helps. That's a good thing. I don't know. But it went great. So they came over last night. I showed them some magic. I showed them the magic room. Then I taught them the routine. Then I showed them the routine. Then I taught them the routine. And then she went over the routine. And how long were they here? Like 3 hours?
2.5.
Yeah.
Almost 3, yeah.
But
yeah, by the time they left, it was about 3 hours.
But they had a blast. And on the way out, like she was into magic. So on the way out of the room, we have the handcuffs and everything over here. She put the straight jacket on and they were taking pictures. And I barely buckled the straight jacket on and she was struggling to get out. I'm like, no, you can get out of this. I didn't buckle the back. You can get, and she's, I don't know. How would just lift your arm up? I didn't buckle the back. And then she got it over. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun night. I had fun.
Good. I was just taking care of kids and cooking dinner and cleaning bathrooms.
I had fun. That was fun for me. So for you, we have a whole list of subjects here. For Natalie had new medication since we talked to you guys last, because they're always trying something. This is a new $500 medicine. Was it $500 a month?
$500 a month.
And insurance?
That's with insurance.
Oh, okay. All right,
yeah.
You go ahead. You take over.
So first, insurance wouldn't cover it, and they had to appeal it because they wanted me. Insurance is like, well, if she's gonna take that, she needs to try these first. But I wasn't taking it for the reason that it was made for. Taking it for my pain that I've been having, and so then they're like, okay, sure, but it's even with insurance, it's $500 a month. I can't afford that, so I filled out an application to have help with it or something, where the company could give me the medicine or discounted rate or something. Well, I don't really know what happened with that, but they said they couldn't, whatever, something didn't happen right. And
I don't know that it ever got filed. We never heard anything.
Who knows? So they said, well, we'll just get you some samples and let's see if that works. So they got me 2 weeks worth of samples. Well, I remember asking them, I'm like, all right, well, does this medication have any side effects?
How long do I have to take it?
And they were like, no, it doesn't really have side effects.
And how long do I have to take it? And they were like, don't ask that question.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I have to ask, and I have to take it for the rest of my life. And they're like, I don't know, you have to talk to your doctor. Because I was talking to the nurse at this point. Like, okay. Doctors hasn't been that much help anyway. But I got the samples and I started taking it. And I started feeling horrific. I started feeling nauseous. I call it dizzy, but it's like
a drunk feeling.
When you turn, your eyesight takes a couple seconds to catch up, so it makes you feel woozy. I had that going on. Nauseous. Had the runs.
Migraines.
It's not fun. Migraine every day, and when you took it again, it just got worse. And so
on day one, I told her, I said, it might just be coincidental. You could have been getting the flu. Sick. Maybe you are sick. Yeah, there's no way that can kick in that many symptoms that fast.
Oh, it was bad. So I took it the next day and it all just ramped up again. And so I was like, I can't do this. This is making life miserable every single day instead of just on the days that I have pain. So I called the doctor and they were like, no, you can stop taking the medication. I was like, well, good. So I wasn't going to take it anymore anyway. But really, the thing is, if it works, were they going to give me samples for the rest of my life or however long I had to use it? Because I can't. I mean, if it was $500 a month and it was like I needed it to live, we could cut something out of our lives to make that work, right? But this isn't necessary to live. And it was making me sick. Blech.
So her pain she has
So-
from all the craziness we had in the hospital last year. She calls it flippy floppy. She's got some weird, it feels like an organ turns over in her
Down here.
in her chest.
Oh,
Right at the
below.
rib cage.
The sternum.
Right at the top, yeah. And then or the bottom of the rib cage, right? Right at the bottom
Right
of the
at
rib cage.
sternum,
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
And
then I
then
had the chest pain.
and then severe chest pain. So the first thing we did, we went to the emergency room and we went to doctors' offices and they said it's not your chest, it's not your heart. Now we're at the gastroenterology place because they think it's
They did I did a barium test where I drank the nastiness and they took x-rays and they found a valve that further down that lets bile and all back up. And the guy that was running that test was like, so that's pretty common for the stents and everything that you had put in. And I said, oh, well, I had told him everything that was going on because he asked. And I said, oh, okay, so is that what's causing the pain? Thinking, woo, we figured it out. And he was like, oh, no way. He was 100% sure. Oh, no way. But I got to tell your doctor about it because it could cause a liver infection. Well, the doctor never mentioned that it could cause a liver infection. He was just like, this is what's causing your pain. And everything he's given me since then has had the opposite effect of what it's supposed to have. So pain, I'm like, well, what can you give me in the meantime for pain when it drops me to my knees? He gave me some sort of syrup stuff and it made the pain worse. And when I told him that, he's like, there's no way. I'm like, well, what do you mean there's no way? I just told you that's what happened. Like, there's a way because it happened. And I don't know, everything I say, I think is going in one ear and out the other because what he wants it to be is what he wants it to be.
and the syrup stuff was $200 for
right.
6 ounces.
So
And when
I
she
feel
took
like-
that medicine, when she took that syrup stuff, she said she was at a 10. She already needed to take medicine.
I'm
And
not gonna
please, God,
take-
I want to take something.
I'm not
And
gonna
it-
take medicine unless I absolutely have to, and it's like that horrible pain. I was like, I'm taking it, and then it got worse.
It
and
got so bad, she almost wanted to go to the emergency room, but she's
Yeah.
like, they're not going to do anything there. They're going to send me home.
right. They're just gonna say it's not your heart. Goodbye. So I was like, I'm not gonna waste that trip. So he didn't believe me on that, and so I don't feel like I'm being listened to in some of the ways that I don't know. Anyway, I don't. Anyway, so when he told me to try this other medication because he thinks what's wrong is what's wrong, and it doesn't work. He also wanted me to get a HIDA scan, which I'm gonna do in a week-ish. And that's where you go in and they inject you with something and it's like you ate something and then they took a whole bunch of pictures and apparently it takes a couple hours to take all the pictures they need to take. And
What day of the week is that next week?
Thursday. And then yeah, so he's like, if that doesn't show anything, I'm gonna tell you. I was like, okay. So I'm done with him, and I think he's done with me, but I'm gonna get this scan and see what it says. And then I'm gonna ask, I had to get a referral to go to him. I'm gonna ask my doctor for a referral to somebody else who will hopefully listen. Because I mean, I even told him it has a cyclical pattern. Like I get taken down to my knees with pain, and then I'm pretty good for like
Couple
a week
weeks.
or two. And then it starts getting annoying again. And then it's like annoying pain where it's like, yeah, like yesterday. I didn't tell you, but yesterday I had pain off and on in my chest. And it just come and go. And it was gone when I saw you, but then you'd leave and it'd come back. I don't know. Anyway.
But they're like anything
So-
intestinal, anything you eat
And
or
then
intestinal like that, it wouldn't build up in pain and then after a month
Right.
it would hurt real bad and then go away.
right.
That's what she's
So
having
after
and they don't know what that
after
is.
the annoying part, then you get it takes me to my knees for a day again. And I was like, what is that? He's like, that doesn't make sense. That was it. That's what I got. That doesn't make sense.
You're the doctor. You're supposed to tell us what
Like,
that is.
okay, that doesn't make sense for what he thinks it is. So maybe it's not what he thinks it is. But if you can't tell, I'm frustrated. I mean,
We should have saved this subject for the end. I gotta wind you
June.
back down.
June is going to be 2 years since I went into that hospital initially.
And you're still hurting.
Right.
Yeah. So
I just want to get it figured out. So don't. But whatever. I told Wes, I said, well, if nobody can figure it out, then we can figure it out. We just gotta learn to live with it. I mean, I've been living with it for 2 years almost. So
The only way I can explain it is I had kidney stones that had to be removed. And it's a weird thing because you could be fine talking, and the next thing you know, you're on your knees in pain.
right.
And it can come every couple days. It could be a month before you have another spell of pain. That's what her symptoms are. She's absolutely fine. Then the next day, she's just in bed, miserable.
Right.
So
It's not a fun way to be.
no, because you never know. You know another attack's coming. You just don't know when or where.
Right.
So anyway, that's
So anyway, get the scan. They're gonna find a different doctor. That's my plan.
we'll let you know next time. See how that's going.
And hopefully I don't have to just be a guinea pig again and try a whole bunch of random medicines. Because every medicine, I've had bad side effects.
Well, the $200 syrup and the $500 pills, that was bad, but I don't know about the other bad stuff.
You had me try something else, and I couldn't poop. It's constipated for a week.
Yeah.
Like
Well, see, they're thinking it's her guts, and it's like it hurts up here. Why is it my guts? It doesn't. We don't get that. I don't.
yeah,
know.
and we've asked that question I don't know how many times and don't have an answer.
Because it's not your heart.
Right.
Why can't you have chest pain without it being your heart? Well, then it has to be digestive.
Well, you can. Because I have it, and it's not in the heart.
Right. Anyway, we'll find out with your hide and seek scan.
We might not.
Might not know anything.
Yeah. It'll just show that valve doing its thing again. He'll be like, see, I told you. And I'll be like, yeah, but nothing you've done has worked. So, I don't know.
Also, all right, let's change subject now. You're all wound up.
No, it's annoying.
I guess it was Sunday. We had an illusion show in someone's living room. And that was a little, I was a little anxious about it. We've been to the place before. We've been to the place before. Go ahead.
For years we've done shows there, but they've always gotten just our basic show, no illusions. And then like last year they decided they were just gonna have people come and go, kind of like an open house instead of a set party time. And so Wes just walked around and did close-up magic. And then this year she kind of surprised me. She's like, I'd like to do illusions in the show. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And they have really high ceilings, so we knew we could do one illusion.
We knew we could do metamorphosis because we could throw the curtain up and we're not going to hit the ceiling.
Right.
And then sword basket, we were so close to the front row. I was 5 feet from the front row. But the way everybody was seated in a living room, everybody could see. It would be fine. Like Mini Cube or that big production trick that I have, our floating box. Mini Cube might have, well.
Too big.
You don't think you could have rotated it?
No.
I was worried. The reason I didn't bring it or even talk to you about it was because of the little carpets they have.
Right.
Because they have those little
We would have had to move carpets for sure, but then we would have had to push people back too so that could move it around. There's no way that would fit. And they had it packed as it was. I mean, we had them as close as we could get them, smooshed up, and then tons of chairs and people sitting on the floor, they have a little fireplace. They were sitting on the fireplace, and you still had people doing this around the corner.
Oh, it was like it was like Stooges. There was heads just lining the wall, looking around the corner at one point.
But they're always a really good audience.
They were great.
They always have a good time.
And it's a company party, so they're on their best behavior because the boss is watching. But also, some parts they were quiet, and other parts they were just, and they were all very complimentary afterwards.
Yeah.
So it was great, but I was a little leery. And Natalie's like, well, we'll take everybody because we know the place. And I'm like, honey, we can't take the RV to that lady's house. It's
Well, I knew we couldn't where we normally park, but I was asking you to call the lady ahead of time and say, hey, I couldn't remember if there was like another driveway around back. They have a big property and a nice sized house, very pretty area. I knew we couldn't fit where we normally park because everybody parks around there, and then to try and get their RV and trailer out, there's no way.
They're out in the country on a mountain, and when you leave that place, I always take pictures when I leave, but pictures never do it justice. I can't figure out how to take a picture to make it do justice, but you can see the skyline of the town all lit up at nighttime. It's just beautiful from their living room window. But she was like, all right, well, we can't bring the babies and we can't bring the babysitter. We'll bring just me, you, Lana, and the animals. And we'll take the RV. I mean, we'll take the magic van pulling the trailer for the illusions. And I'm like, honey, you're not gonna be able to fit it. You got 50 cars there with all the people, and it's just not gonna work. So we took Metamorphosis apart piece by piece, and we put the sword basket in, and we put our whole show in the van, and that worked fine.
Yeah.
If we'd have had
you couldn't fit Minicube in there though.
No.
There's no way to get it there, and there's no way to fit it in the living room either with all the people. I mean, they have a nice size living room, but when you put 80 people in it,
right,
it shrinks, and you don't want to take up, 2/3 of the room with your magic show and have them all smushed. So,
but some shows, I say I'm nervous.
It worked out well.
But it's one of those things where in my head, I guess I am nervous, but I'm playing out all of the scenarios of what's going to happen. What if we get there and it's just 100 people this year instead of 80 like last year, and there's just no room to put the Metamorphosis? What do I do? Do I give the lady money back because we didn't do the illusions? Do I let her know? Does she know what an illusion is? What if I just do play bigger? What if I make the show long? I don't know. And I'm playing all these scenarios in my head. So I felt like I was nervous, but I was playing all those scenarios in my head.
Yeah. But
and
it was
great.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Fine. But I think if she says next year, I'd like to do 3 illusions, I'm gonna have to say, no. Sorry.
Unfortunately.
Unless you are gonna hold it somewhere else, we're not gonna be able to fit that. And I don't want you to pay for it and then we can't do it. So
And the other thing is we load everything out piece by piece. And Lana, as a baby, she used to walk up and down our stage area, and she'd be security, make sure nobody mess with her stuff. Yeah. So we left Lana in the room, and we took trips, and we were parked right next to their living room door, so we could load up the van and get the heck out of there as quick as we could. I got all the animals and all the equipment, and Natalie and Lana loaded in the car. And then I walked through the party just thanking everybody, and I gave the host and hostess a hug. And she said, all right, that was awesome. See you next year. And they gave us I think, the biggest tip of my life.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Was that the biggest tip we've ever gotten with you?
I don't know that one guy, but he split it between the 3 of us.
That was awesome.
Yeah. But it was very generous of them because they had paid beforehand. Like, she called with credit card, paid beforehand. I was like, hey, nothing.
Dude, I forgot about that show.
And
that night, the guy gave me an Italian handshake and gave me a hug and said, thank you. You blew us out of the water. We didn't know what to expect. That was the guy that said, you better do a good job.
Yeah.
This is my parents' 50th wedding anniversary.
One of your episodes that you...
Of this or my television show? Show.
I think we talked about it on here too.
Well, anyway, I'm going to tell it now.
Okay.
But the guy, he was a lawyer, and it was his parents' 50th birthday, and it wasn't his idea to hire me.
Anniversary.
Yeah, anniversary, 50th wedding anniversary. And the family was there. They rented out this country club. And you better do a good job. And then afterwards, he hugged me, and it was awesome. Couldn't believe how great it was. Fantastic. Thank you. Italian handshake. Give me $100. Wow, that's great. I just give it to Natalie because my pockets are loaded with magic, and I don't want to lose cash. And then I give it to Natalie, and she said, yeah, he just gave me $100. And we get to the car, and Lana said, he gave me $100 too.
Yeah,
that was before the babies were born. That was before the babies are born.
So maybe, I feel like we talked, but maybe that's just on the TV show. Maybe we didn't talk about it on here.
Yeah.
So, but those are our 2 biggest tips. But they're always so nice there. And normally they do a Christmas show at this living room one we were talking about before the you better do a good show guy. Normally they do a Christmas show, but this year they were like, we want to do a ringing in the new year party. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So
it was great. It was great.
Yeah.
And it's new faces because employees come and go. And it's some old faces that, we've seen year after year. But company party, man. It is what it is. It's fun.
I think they're awesome because they have they put up this whole big buffet. It's so good. Put up a whole big buffet. They have all sorts of drinks. They have this nice big kitchen with tons of counters that they fill up with food, and they have a table put out that's filled up. I mean, they do it up really well. And they do it themselves.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't hire a catering company. They did it all themselves.
But they have all the catering equipment.
They do. Yes.
They do. They have the things that keep it
They
warm
do, the little
underneath.
burners and the metal things.
But that's
you put
theirs.
food
They
in.
have all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So I think
Wow.
that's really awesome. I mean,
Is that their house? That's their house, though.
that's their house. Yeah.
Because it's such an open, big, even upstairs.
That's their house.
I haven't seen bedrooms yet.
Where you went to the bathroom, there's a second door that had it locked. The very first time we went there, I got confused and I opened that. That's a bedroom. And I shut it real quick and I locked it and I went out the other way.
Oh,
so the bedroom
from
is
the bathroom.
back there.
Okay.
So I think because you went in this door to go to the bathroom, I think you did that way. There's bedrooms back there.
Well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know how many bedrooms are back there, but you know, they got a lot of living area, a lot of living space, which is great. I mean, I think it's just them at home now. It's just they have kids, but their kids have kids and come to that party. And so I think it's just the two of them now, but they have plenty of room to host their parties and have everybody over. So.
But when I say I'm nervous about it because I'm worried about room and because they got such a big show, is that a good thing to say? You're
not nervous about the actual show. You're just nervous about whether it'll fit or anxious about, is it going to fit? Because we know the place and we know the layout. But if you think about a place that you've been to once a year for like, I don't know, what, 5 years, 6 years?
And I did that show before you were born with their kids.
And, well, you hadn't done it for a while and then I started doing it again, I guess. But anyway, if you think about a place that you've only been once a year for a few years, you can picture it, but you're not sure if you're picturing the size quite right. You know, like, is it longer than what I'm thinking so it can fit this lined up, or is it shorter than what I'm thinking? So, I mean, there's just unknowns, but.
And it's funny we remembered, because she remembers that the navigation drops you off a little too early. But I remembered it was a long, bumpy driveway, but it was like farm equipment had been used. So taking the RV on it and going off the edge, and if you met somebody, the RV was going to be a problem. I remembered that kind of scenario, but she didn't remember that.
No.
And parking.
I remember the top of the driveway is what I remember. The
Isn't
top
that
of the driveway and being able to park right next to the door. But what I'm saying is, I know we always drove, the driveway goes right in front of the house, but I didn't know if there was like a wind around in the back where they had more parking or something. That's what I was. Yeah. So
anyway,
but it worked out perfectly. It was totally fine. And both Wes and I commented on the drive to the show, looking back, like my visor in the van has a mirror, and looking back to see a 12-year-old sitting in the seat instead of a little tiny girl in a car seat was just weird, because we used the van.
We don't take the van anymore.
And she's grown so much since the boys were born. And so to see her sitting back there
with her earbuds in, playing on her phone,
all grown, was just weird. And you see these videos of her in the back of the van in her car seat. She's a tiny
and you see little legs flopping when you're talking to her.
And her legs are always on the floor. Like, she can reach the floor. It was just weird.
It flies. It flies by.
Growing up.
Talking about our little girl, go to the next subject there.
Oh, she's taking a musical theater class now. So we made friends with some other another homeschool family in the area that has two girls who are like one is a year older and one's a year younger than Lana, so they fit perfectly. And she was like, hey, I just want to tell you about this, that my girls love it. I don't know if Lana would. And I was like, well, Lana loves to sing, so I'll ask her and see. And so it's a thing in Richmond that they do specifically for homeschool kids, because it's held in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week. And so we signed her up, and she was ever so nervous. Today was her third week, but her first week, she's like, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. Oh my goodness. But I think it helped that she knew two of the girls that were going to be there. I think there's 8 or 9, and it's all girls in her class. It's mixed in the class that follows, but all girls in her class. And they do it for 10 weeks, but on the 10th week, it's their performance week. So everybody's going to come and watch her perform on her 10th week, March like 19th or something like that. And so I'm excited to see it. And week 3, she's already telling me she's having a blast. She's loving it. And apparently she's a class clown. And I said, you get that from your father. She's like, I love it because I make people laugh. That's great. Is it appropriate times? Like, you're not interrupting class. Like, no, even the teacher laughed. I'm like, okay. So
I don't know. She won't tell me anything. Like, I asked her, what are you singing about? What songs are you doing? What play are you doing? And she, Dad, blah, blah, blah. I asked the wrong question somehow, some way. And what did I do wrong? You were there.
I don't know, because I was on the phone with the dentist. So I was only half hearing. But it was something along the lines of, you said, what musical are you doing? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We're doing songs. She just takes things so literal with you. So they're not doing a full musical. That would be a lot to do in 9 weeks and their 10th week performance. They're doing different songs from different musicals. Apparently it's girl parts. And all she's really said is like something from Little Women and something from Little Mermaid and something from another and something from another. I'm like, okay. So
yeah, I have no idea. That's more than I got out of her. And we were also, you said today, you were just doing it right before you hit record. You're thinking about putting her in ballet in the fall.
Yeah. So that place offers ballet class. And Lana used to take ballet, and then obviously with COVID and everything, they stopped. And I was waiting because the lady she took ballet with was very flexible. So if we missed a week, it was okay. And you know, it's not like we needed a doctor's note to make it up. It wasn't uber expensive because she's not saying she wants to go be a ballerina. So I'm not looking for like professionalness out of Lana.
And with our schedule, some of the ballerina places said that you had to make up your lesson. If you missed more than 2 weeks, you'd be kicked out of school and you weren't allowed. We can't, you might book a show.
Right.
It's got to be kind of laid back.
And so, the lady we took with, she couldn't teach ballet classes anymore because the place that she was holding them at, their rent went sky high once everything opened back up. And she said, if I do that, then I'm going to be paying to teach ballet instead of getting paid to teach, which I get it. So I started looking at other places, and that was the case. You have to make it up within, some places are so strict. You have to make it up within 2 weeks, and you have to bring a doctor's note, and you have to have these weekend days blocked out of your schedule so that your kid can do this event. And I'm like, well, we're out. And it's just hard. Like, they want your life to revolve around ballet, and unfortunately we can't do things that are on the weekend
because we need to revolve around me.
Because we need to pay bills.
There you go.
How's that? So anyway, this place offers ballet classes. And I just saw it. I sit and do some health coaching work while I'm waiting for Lana to get out. I saw a sign on the lady's office door, and I was like, hey, look at that. So I asked her about it this week. So that might be something that she'll do in the fall. Get back into ballet.
It's
because they do it for the whole year, and yeah.
And they're pretty laid back, you think?
I mean, they're not going to give you your money back if you miss a class, and they're highly encouraging you to make it to every class you possibly can. But yes.
So we just have to talk to you. Have to talk to the teacher though, and say, hey, look, it might be a couple weeks. Just
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't mind losing the money, but is she could be okay?
Right.
You mentioned healthcare business. How's your health coaching business?
It's all right.
Well, tell them. You just hit a milestone.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Hello.
So last week was my 2-year health anniversary. So I started program 2 years ago and lost 70 pounds. And here I am, just sharing it with others that want to do the same thing. So, and that's what's different about this one, is I have really learned a lot. I've learned a lot about me. And my mindset about food and about emotional eating. I mean, I knew I was an emotional eater, but having the tools to kind of get past it. Not perfect, but doing better than I was because I kept it off. So
I know when I'm sick, I go for carbs.
Yeah.
I,
Oh, yeah,
I,
you do.
I do, and it doesn't do anything. And I notice that it doesn't do anything because I feel guilty eating it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't feeling good the other day, and I had a peanut butter bagel for breakfast, and I'm like, I just don't feel good. I just want comfort, and I ate it. I'm like, that didn't do anything. It
It
didn't.
felt good for the moment, though, right? Not even
just that moment.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as I was done eating it, I'm like, well,
It didn't do
it
anything.
didn't even fill me up. It was just,
Yeah.
like I got to eat 4 more. I didn't want to do that.
No.
But anyway, yeah, we're both
Yeah.
learning.
Yep.
I got to fit in boxes, daggone it. It's not COVID anymore. We're out working. I got to fit in these boxes. You can get a phone call any day. And having a magic trick costs $5,000 or more that you don't fit in. It's like having a car you can't drive because you're overweight.
And you know it's your fault.
It's not a good feeling. It's like you can't shut the car door.
Right.
And you can't perform a magic trick with the door open.
And that was my fault, most of it, 90%, because I'm the one that gets in most of the boxes.
There was there a couple you couldn't do?
Yeah, I couldn't do sword basket.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, we were doing metamorphosis because if you can't fit through that hole, we're in trouble. But
What hole?
I don't know. But you know what I mean. You can't make that one work. It is what it is. And then I wouldn't have fit in Dollhouse, which means Dollhouse and Temple were out.
We haven't done Temple and
interchangeable.
We haven't done Temple in 20 years. We've only been together 18.
20 years.
We've only been together 18.
We could do it now.
How about Temple though? We haven't done Temple
in a long time.
So
but
what 2004?
That's when you could do it.
2004. No,
you did,
I met you in 2005.
You did it with Lana while I was pregnant.
Did we?
You not Temple, but Dollhouse.
We did it just for Zoom though.
No.
In person?
Yeah.
Wow. It needs to be painted real bad.
I tried to fix it with all that different color.
Yeah, I tried to use colored duct tape because it's got these like yellow and red and pink design down the side. It sounds horrific, but it looks good with the doll theme.
Yeah.
But I tried to get colored duct tape, and the stuff was just.
It looked great
When you first did it.
Yeah, and then it stays stored in our trailer, or it's in the garage if we're not doing it. And the heat and the cold it didn't last. So
yeah,
you got to paint it. But that's one we could put back in. We haven't done that in a while.
I was thinking that production, the inflatable box production, we haven't done it forever either.
Yeah.
So we got so much. Yeah, figured out. What else? We haven't talked to you guys in so long. We have a lot of stuff here. Like New Year's. Our New Year's was way different this year.
We had a laid back New Year's. It was actually kind of enjoyed it.
I didn't.
He likes to be working, but I'm just saying I kind of enjoyed it. Like we just stayed home and we rang in the New Year, watching Happy New Year on TV, and all the kids played with the little noisemakers, and the boys loved having the little Happy New Year crowns and necklaces.
Yeah, we bought all that for them.
Yeah, and the next day you just have you have to have cabbage and you have to have black-eyed peas, money and good luck for the New Year. And it was just laid back. It was calm. I enjoyed my calm.
And we had the spiral ham.
Yeah.
And then the next day I was like this.
Yeah.
With all the salt. I could feel it in my eyes. Like I felt puffy.
Yep.
At bags.
That's anytime you eat ham. It's salty. Why?
It was good though.
So much salt in ham.
It was good. It was sugar ham though. It was
yummy.
What was it?
It was a honey baked ham.
Honey baked. Yeah, real good. What else we got on here?
It snowed. The
past couple weeks.
Right. And the boys don't remember. So it snowed when the boys were babies. We have pictures of them in their little suits and they look like little starfish and they just laid there. Because, that was before they could walk. And there was no snow last year. And then it snowed this year. And it was probably 4 or 5 inches, wasn't it?
I'd say 4.
4 inches. And they just thought it was awesome. They went outside the first day, and then the next day they were pointing, wanted to go back out. And so we took them out in it as much as we could, and they loved throwing snowballs at everybody once their dad showed them that you could throw snowballs at people.
It only took one time to show them. I said, look.
They thought it was
they
hilarious.
loved it.
It was the best thing ever. And then
they didn't know how to pack it though, so they would just pick it up and they go to throw it. And they'd just be a puff in their hand.
So they liked it better if you made them for them. And then we did some sledding. We have a very slight hill, not much of one to speak of, but it's enough. And we went down that a ton of times, and Lana loved it, and the boys loved it, and had a good old time. And now Lana is wishing for more and more snow. She wants a blizzard to come. Because I told her somebody told me it was perfect weather for a blizzard because it was cold and we had some snow, and then it got nice and warm, which I loved. It was like 70 something degrees out. We all got outside again and played in it was beautiful. Now it's cold again, and they said that's perfect. Cold, warm spring weather, then it goes to blizzard. I'm like, I don't want that.
The boys are just during the day while they're doing homeschool and I'm doing office work and I'm teaching magic lessons and I'm running errands and doing things. The boys are just sitting in the living room, watching television and playing. Every day is like Groundhog Day for them. I feel bad.
Yeah.
So when you
can't get outside because it's so cold, or it's
so cold or wet, rainy. Yeah.
You feel bad.
And they love playing in dirt. They love getting dirty. So when it's the least little wet outside, they're going to be covered in mud. So let's just wait till it dries up. But we had to get them outside when it was nice, and they did homeschool on the back porch.
Yep.
I mean, we really soaked up that sun.
I did office work on the back porch, homeschool on the back porch, and then we played and just stayed outside and helped him chop some wood and get it all in the wheelbarrow. And
I told her, I said, when you finish school, let's go take the kids to the PlayStation area. We have the batten, I call it the batten cage, but it's just a ball on a string with a baseball bat. I have a case out there that you usually put in the back of a pickup truck. And I have it nailed to a stump, screwed to a stump, and it's locked. But I got my baseball bats in there. I got throwing stars in there, throwing axes in there, and BB guns in there. Because that area, I got the axe throwing wall. I have the BB gun range. And I have this ball hanging from the tree that can go around the pole. So I said, let's get the boys out there and try it.
Because they enjoy the baseball thing a lot before. So they did again, but there's only one. And they don't want to share. They don't want to take turns.
They don't mind when Lana has a turn because they say, wow, because Lana can really whack ball hard.
Yeah, they don't mind that. But if Lex has the bat, then Julian is screaming. If Julian has the bat, then Lex is screaming. And you have to pick one up when the other has the bat, because they don't understand that when he swings the bat, you don't want to get hit in the head. Yeah. And so, what we thought was going to be fun. I mean, it was cute for the one that was enjoying himself at the time. It's very cute. But we only stayed out there for probably about 5 minutes because it just wasn't working.
It turned into just an awful show.
Yeah. But
it was funny. Lex did pretty good. Lex had his swing, and Julian was coming at it like he was chopping wood.
He was hacking.
And there was no teaching him.
No.
It was just full screaming, dropping his body weight, temper tantrum if you tried to help him.
Yep.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. But then this came in handy later because he wanted to help his daddy chop wood, which was very cute. I got a cute picture of that.
He did help me chop wood.
That was very cute.
I held all the weight, and he just had his hands on it.
Yeah, well, he was very bright. He had this big smile. It was adorable.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
What else we got on this thing? I got boys poop. What does that mean?
Oh, okay. So, we tried, when the boys turned 3, we started trying to potty train them right after they turned 3. Because they're 3. Time to get rid of the diapers. Well, it didn't work so well. They were excited about it at first, and then they didn't care. And so we decided to put it aside for a little bit and just not worry about it. The past couple days, though, I think we might have to pick it up here soon, but I think we're going to wait until they're solidly 3.5. But it was so funny. So our living room opens up into our, the kitchen. And around the corner here is a little nook where we do school. And so I had Julian, I was doing school with Lana, and Julian just pokes his head out and goes, hey, hey. I said, yes, I pooted. Okay, I'm coming. So he just wanted to let me know. So come in and change his diaper. And so now he's telling me he pooted. But Lex, if I come in there and I smell something, I say, who pooted? He just points to Julian, whether it is him or Julian. It is Julian that did it. So
I come in there, I say, I'm gonna bite somebody in the butt. I'm gonna go tickle somebody. And Lex says, him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want, he
The
always
other
throws
one.
his brother under the bus.
The other one is what he said to me one day.
Yeah.
The other one. But anyway, so I think we're getting there. To me, that means we are closer to being able to potty train. But I'm also, it's one of those things where I want them potty trained, but I would just like to skip the process and have them just already potty trained because I'm not looking forward to it. Are you?
It's no, because I have the morning shift.
And I have the rest of the day. Keep complaining.
Morning shift isn't easy.
You would think that would be easiest.
No.
Sit down, potty. You just got up. You have to pee. The rest of the day is, it's been 2 hours, go try potty. It's been 2 more hours, go try potty. But anyway, whatever. Couple more months and we're gonna have to give it another shot.
All right. What about our new church? We're running out of time. We got like 10 minutes left.
So we've been going to our old church that is in Earlysville even after we moved. So 5 years of driving over an hour to get to church. And
About an hour 10, hour 15.
And if we're being honest, we were not going as often as we could have gone because we didn't want to get up and drive an hour and 10 minutes to church.
Also, after doing illusion shows on Saturday night, getting home at 2 a.m, it sucks.
That's a legitimate reason. But then there's also the reason of we didn't get home that late that night and we just didn't get up and go to church because we didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
It seems like so much more of a hassle when you have to drive that far. So we decided finally to find somewhere closer and drive. And we have been passing this church, going and coming. It's 5 minutes from our house. For 5 years, we've been passing it. I'm like, well, why don't we just try there? 5 minutes from the house. We don't like it. We'll look into other churches. So we've been going there for 3 weeks, and I really like it. It's very, very small, but all the people are really, really nice, and very accommodating. So I really.
Lana wanted
and all their
friends at
beliefs
church.
line up so far. No red flags have shown up. So
Lana wanted friends in church. She really liked going to the Christian camp during the summer. She liked that independence, dipping her toes away from mom and dad because she's always with us. And we're all for that. That's great. And she can still go to that camp during the summer with the old church. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they'll mind.
But this new church, she was excited to see some local friends and make some local friends. There are no other kids. There's one other kid, kind of her age. It might be a couple years older.
Yeah.
And that kid's moving in 2 weeks to Ohio.
Something. I don't think it's Ohio, but.
And then the babies have 3 little girls in their class. And that's it. That's all the kids in the entire church.
Yep.
And then as far as adults, maybe 30 on the.
I mean, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Including Willow, there was 11 people in Sunday school class. And that's a lot.
No, but that's the only Sunday school class they have.
They have an older ladies Sunday. That's what
they
we
do.
Passed. We passed and talked to those 2 ladies.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that was their Sunday school class.
Oh,
so they have an older ladies class or older.
I thought that was like the secretary's office. I didn't.
No.
Again, I was holding the baby and walking down the thing.
Yeah, no, it says on the door. I don't know if it said older ladies or if it was like seniors. I think it's seniors. So they have their own class, and then the rest of everybody is in our class, and then the kids are in their own classes. And then you all join together, and there's probably about 20 people in church.
And Natalie's like, I think we need to try somewhere else.
I did. After the first week, I was like, I don't know. I want the kids to make friends with other kids, and there's no other kids. And Wes was like, It's not why you go to church. It's like, that's true.
That's wisdom there.
It is true, but you do want fellowship. You know.
There's 30 people there.
Right. So anyway, and then last week I was talking to one of the ladies and she was like, this is what we've been praying for. Like they've been praying for more kids. So us bringing our 3 kids is like answered prayer for them. And that's awesome.
That made your heart feel good.
It made me feel good. Yeah.
Because they were like, they don't have teachers for the daycare thing. And we're like, that's why we left the other church, because they didn't have a special daycare for us. They wanted us to have it.
Yeah. They didn't have anything to offer the kids during the late service. They did during the early service, but we have to drive an hour and 10 minutes. I'm not going to the early service. So they had, Sunday school class, which the boys would have enjoyed, but then we would have had to take the boys into church with us. And there's no way that they will sit for an hour in church. So there's no way we would have learned anything. So, and these people are very, they already have kids, the boys' age-ish. It's probably a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and like a 6-year-old or something around those lines. Maybe that girl's 4 and 6 or something. I don't know. But ish. They're all in the same class. And so they already had that set up for them for during church. And so our boys just joined and they're happy. And hopefully more kids will come back. They said they used to have a booming children's ministry. And then COVID, no one's come back. Everybody stayed online. So I'm hoping more people start coming back. But I like the church. Do you like the church?
It's great. It's fine. And it's
great. It's fine. That's the highest compliment you can get from him. It's great. It's fine.
My favorite part is when church is over and we come home and we have a brunch, and it's literally the pastor says, all right, God bless, have a great week, see you later. We're eating omelets 5 minutes later. That feels good. We'd be driving.
Yeah. So
by the time we're sitting down and finishing our meal, we would still be driving home.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of weeks we just went out to lunch, and so we're gonna be saving money on top of everything else too.
But we got 20 chickens out there laying fresh eggs. And, I used to make eggs every single day, but now it's special.
Yeah.
So anyway.
It's good. I think we have found our church family, which is nice. And it's much easier to get up to go to church. It's 5 minutes away. I don't know why, because you still have to get up and get ready and go and get everybody in the car. But for some reason, it seems like less of a hassle to go 5 minutes.
You're not getting up. You're sleeping an extra hour and a half.
I am.
That's the reason it's easier. You're sleeping extra.
Yeah.
Also, just a commercial before we wrap everything up. magiciansmagicshop.com I got a whole bunch of new stuff and a new collection I'm going through. I add new stuff every single day. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, magiciansmagicshop.com. I just put Lance Burton DVDs up. I had a stash of Lance Burton DVDs that he sold in his magic shop. So I said, great for beginners because it teaches you how to do magic.
Mm-hmm.
And then collectors.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Lance Burton?
I don't. I've never heard anybody say they don't like Lance Burton.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the item I put up today. But get those while supplies last, because I only had a handful. I had a stack of them, small stack. Can't get those anymore. Once they're gone, they're gone. But I think that pretty much catches you guys up. Anything else you got to say?
Nope. I think that's it.
So 1, 2, 3. See you next week.
Check us out online at wesisley.com and patreon.com/Wes_Isley for behind-the-scenes videos, blooper videos, never-before-seen footage, discounts on merchandise, magic trick tutorials, and more. That's Wes Iseli, spelled WESISELI.